Most of you know a sequel to last year's hit comedy Neighbors is already in the works and is currently scheduled for a May 13th, 2016 release date. Now, according to a report in Variety, Kick-Ass and the Equalizer star Chloe Moretz is in talks to join the film alongside returning stars Seth Rogen, Byrne and Zac Efron. The original film made over $268 million worldwide on a reported $18 million shooting budget. Christian, do you buy or sell Chloe Moretz joining Neighbors 2?
Yeah, I buy Chloe Moretz joining it for sure. I mean, I think she's going to be a lot of fun. I don't necessarily buy Neighbors 2. I understand why they made it for the stats that Sinead just gave. I didn't love Neighbors as much as like you did, John, and other people did, but I understand why you have to make a sequel. But as far as Chloe Moretz, I just automatically think of her in Kick-Ass and what she was able to do in Kick-Ass, and I can already see her. She'll probably be I think, the Zac Efron role from Neighbors 1 to maybe even Zac Efron and Seth Rogen together this time. Right. Maybe she's the one who's the pain in the ass, and now it's a bunch of sorority girls who are the ones, which I would assume is going to be the premise. So, and because what that movie did for me was show a big range for Zac Efron, and what we were just talking about with The Rock, with range and the way that The Rock can show comedy. Zac Efron showed me a side that I didn't know that he had. Yeah. And I've seen a little bit of that from Chloe Moretz, but I'd love to see more, so it's a buy.
As you mentioned, I was a big fan of Neighbors. Not as big as Schnepp was, though. Like,
really?
Schnepp lost his. He gave it a 10.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't know that I've ever seen him give a 10 before, but to Neighbors, he gave it a perfect 10. Yeah. As soon as I saw Chloe's name in this, it's like, oh, the next door house is going to be taken over by a sorority now. Yeah. We saw at the end of Neighbors that Zac Efron and Seth Rogen became friends, so Zac Efron is going to move into the basement apartment probably of their house, and he's going to be living with them now. The big question I have, and I buy this, I do want to see a sequel, both because I thought these characters were really funny, they had really funny chemistry together, and financially, when you make a movie for $18 million, you make 260 plus. I mean, then you kind of have to go for it. My big question is going to be an underrated player in Neighbors, which is Dave Franco. I thought actually Dave Franco was a really nice piece to that puzzle, off playing not only the rest of the cast, but also specifically with Efron. Mm-hmm. He set up Efron for a lot of his big shining moments as well. So I'd be really curious to see if he's coming out. I'm not saying it's a must, but it would be really cool to see him back as well. Not that you have to bring everybody back. But anyway, Clark, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. So again, don't know if I buy Neighbors 2 in general. I don't know why we need it, but like we've all said, okay, we get why. I am with you. I wrote down in my notes, Dave Franco, please. Yeah. I loved Dave Franco in Neighbors, but I like the talent in Neighbors. So what I wanted to say is, yes, Chloe makes perfect sense. And yeah, I assume as well that a sorority would be moving in next door, which leads me to be excited about possible hijinks that Byrne can get into. Yeah. Because if we'll remember from the first movie, she was the big driving force between playing that frat. And she kind of her character came up with a lot of the ideas and actually executed them. And I would love to see Byrne and Chloe Moretz and a potential sorority kind of pitted against one another or using their powers for good and evil. So I'm really excited for that potential collaboration.